Welcome to what I hope is a topic to help free you to choose growth and peace mental health fitness. Today, we're going to explore why strengthening our minds should be just as normal and celebrated as strengthening our bodies. If we're willing to invest time, money, and effort into looking and feeling physically strong, then can't we do the same for our minds to gain strength and resiliency to build peace within us? Let's get into it, and hopefully by the time we're done, you'll have your own health plan lined up. It's just a few months to summer, although I can't believe it because it's snowing out as I record today. It's April 12th as I record, and there's already a couple inches of slushy snow out. We were in the 60s last week, and it's going to be 65 in a couple days, but I guess that means I don't need to shovel and can just let it melt. But let's focus on getting ready for summer. Working out, eating right, getting our bodies ready for exposure in shorts and swimsuits. We're all so ready to work on our physical health by going to the gym and eating right, spending the money on workout classes and personal trainers. And doesn't everyone see that as worthy things to do, worthy of our time and our money? As soon as a friend starts an exercise plan, we think, good for them, that's awesome. And of course, if we see them getting stronger, we may choose to do the same or ask them what they're doing so we can get the same results. And if you want to improve your spiritual health, you might decide to go to church every week, add money to the tithing basket. Maybe you read the Bible, Quran, or whatever religion you follow. Many look at this as the right thing to do, expect it, in fact, to be a good person. And even if you're not religious, you may still think these are noble acts and wonderful ways to spend your time. You see it as maybe helping others, becoming a better person, doing good things. So, working on our physical strength, working on being a better person, it's celebrated. But why is it such taboo to do the same thing for our mental health? When a person decides to prioritize their mental health and focus on their self care, maybe it's hiring a trainer for our mind, like seeing and talking to a therapist every week to help heal some traumas we may have or don't even know we have, or hiring a life coach to help figure out why we're stuck and how to move forward. Feeding our minds and bodies with medication, if that's what's decided, is the best way for someone to move forward in their mental health. But why is it in some cases, if you try to improve your mental health or focus on your personal growth, you don't get the same response of, oh, good for you, that's awesome that you've made that decision. Instead, you're maybe met with whispers between friends and family. Hey, did you hear? Hey, what's going on with Shirley? Is she okay or what? And you know what? Let them talk. Be strong in what you know you need to do for yourself, and let's just get started. So let's start with a comparison that we all understand. When we decide that we want to get physically stronger, what do? Maybe you sign up for a gym membership, invest in a personal trainer, or follow some sort of structured workout routine. You eat well, you track your progress, and you set goals. You don't just expect to wake up one morning with six-pack abs or the ability to lift twice your body weight. You work for it consistently over time. So, why do we expect our minds to be any different? Why do we think that simply existing will give us emotional resilience and happiness, the ability to handle life's challenges with ease? Mental strength, just like physical strength, requires training, dedication, and the right tools. So, here's the thing: if you tell someone you hired a personal trainer, they'll probably say, good for you, that's awesome. But if you tell them you're seeing a therapist or working with a life coach, you might get a different reaction, maybe a look of concern. Are you okay? What's going on? Why? Why is one investment seen as a sign of dedication and self improvement, while the other is seen as a sign of weakness? It's the same principle: taking care of ourselves and making ourselves a priority. And just like you wouldn't try to bench press 200 pounds on your first day at the gym, you shouldn't expect to overcome deep seated emotional struggles or trauma overnight. It takes time, it takes guidance and practice. So let's break this down like we would a workout program. So, step one, assess where you are. Before you start any kind of training, whether it's for your body or your mind, you need to assess your starting point. In physical fitness, This means understanding your endurance, your strength, flexibility, and overall health. You want to look at where you are and figure out what you're trying to achieve. For mental fitness, it means recognizing where do you struggle? What's preventing you from moving forward in your life? Are you battling anxiety? Do you have trouble setting boundaries? Do you feel unmotivated or stuck in negative thinking patterns? Do you not even know where to begin? And that's okay. Just start being more purposeful and intentional of making yourself a priority and doing whatever it is that recharges you and creates that calm and peace in your life. Start small, just a few minutes a day, or maybe just making one change in your life. Once you've had time to slow down, reflect, and become more self aware, you might be able to identify your growth areas. Maybe that's listening to podcasts like this, reading self help books, or however you choose to reflect. This may be what you may need to identify where your mind is flabby and where you need to tone and strengthen. But just like a personal trainer would measure your body fat percentage or have you do a fitness assessment, maybe you need more focused training. So a therapist or coach can help you assess your mental and emotional well being. However, you get to this assessment or where you're at and what you think you need, the first step towards growth is to figure out where are the areas that you need to grow and focus on. Step two is develop a routine. A solid fitness routine involves a mix of maybe strength training, cardio, flexibility, and rest. Your mental health routine should be just as balanced. So, for strength training or building resilience, just like lifting weights makes your muscles stronger, facing challenges and working through difficult emotions makes your mind stronger. This could mean confronting past traumas with a therapist, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, or just practicing resilience through mindfulness and meditation. And of course, there's so many free options out there, so it doesn't have to cost you anything but time well spent. So the cardio could be processing emotions. Movement is important for physical health, and emotional movement is just as critical. Journaling, therapy, talking to trusted friends, or allowing yourself to just feel and process emotions are like cardio for your mind. It keeps things flowing rather than letting emotions and negativity build up. Flexibility, so adaptability and maybe mindset shifts. Just as you stretch to prevent injuries, mental flexibility helps you adapt to change. Maybe practicing gratitude, challenging negative thoughts, and learning new perspectives are ways to increase your mental flexibility. Challenging your status quo, how you've always done things, maybe move out of your comfort zone. And then rest and recovery, which really can be self care and boundaries. No one can work out every single day without risking burnout or injury. And the same goes for mental health. Rest days are important, whether that means saying no to social obligations and saying yes to yourself, taking time for hobbies, or practicing whatever self care activities recharge you. This rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. So, step three to your mental health fitness is to remember your why. One of the hardest parts about mental fitness isn't even the work itself, it's dealing with the resistance, both from others and from within. And the best way to do that is to remember your why. Why are you doing this? Why is it important to you? Why now? Maybe you've decided that you just can't live this way any longer. Maybe you're realizing you deserve more. You deserve peace and happiness, and that only you can make that change. And that is absolutely correct. And that may affect the people around you questioning, why are you doing what you're doing? Maybe it's because sometimes that includes having to look back into your childhood for clues as to why your mind is the way that it is. And you get people saying, well, you're just trying to shift the blame. You are who you are, so why are you trying to change? What's the point? Some will knock you down for trying to be more positive, and just wait for it when you're not so positive, and they'll be sure to point that out. Aha, I knew you weren't all that positive. To which I respond, correct, I'm human. It's like some people just think that everyone should just suck it up and stay miserable or stop trying to be better than everyone else. Whether that's truly that they believe you think you are better than them, or possibly it puts a spotlight on their own lives and what they're not doing for themselves. Just like in fitness, where some people will discourage you. Why are you eating that? Just live a little. You'll face critics when you start working on your mind. Some people don't like seeing others grow because it forces them to reflect on their own lack of effort, or it makes them have to confront their own lives or their impact in your life. And if that upsets them, remember that is their choice and their journey, not yours. Keep focusing and being dedicated to your journey and the choices that you need to make for you. And then, of course, there's the internal resistance, that little voice that says, "What's the point?" or "You'll never change." And just like pushing through that last rep in a hard workout, you have to push through those negative thoughts. You have to come back to your why and keep reinforcing that you deserve this growth, that you deserve your peace. Over time, your mental endurance grows and you become stronger, more confident, and more in control of your life. And just like it gets easier to lift those extra weights, it gets easier to lift the negative weights in your mind, to deal with whatever life throws your way with strength and endurance. Working on your mental health fitness, it's not about perfection. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about being better than prior versions of you, only you, and to give us the strength and knowledge to learn how to manage life in all its aspects and ways that may affect us. So, step 4, fueling your mental strength. Nutrition is a huge part of physical health, and the same applies to mental health. What are you feeding your mind? Are you feeding it to be ready to take on challenges? Are you bulking up for those mental squats? Do you have what you need to put in the effort and still have energy left so it doesn't drain you but recharges you? Think of what your mental health diet consists of. Maybe you should be reading uplifting books, listening to inspiring podcasts, surrounding yourself with supporting people. And what would junk food for your mind consist of? Constant negativity from news, from others, doom scrolling on social media, toxic relationships. So just like you can't out eat or out exercise a bad diet, you can't outthink a bad mental environment. Be mindful of what you consume mentally as well as physically, and make sure you use that free, simple superpower of getting enough sleep. And not just any sleep. Shoot for 8 hours if you can, but even if it's less than that, be sure to set yourself up so that you get some good deep sleep and some good REM sleep, both of which are needed to keep your brain, your body, and your emotions healthy. Setting yourself up could be ensuring you stop any deep discussions a couple hours before bed, especially if they involve a lot of decision making. Maybe turning off electronics or switching to blue light an hour before bed. Turn the lights down a bit, maybe play some soothing music, but set the mood for your mind. All of this will pay off. We admire people with physical strength, endurance, and discipline. But imagine if we equally admired emotional and mental intelligence and resilience and inner peace, so much that we all wanted to help and support each other to get there. Where seeking help for our minds was as celebrated as seeking help for our bodies and never taboo. When you consistently train your mental health, the long-term benefits are just as rewarding, if not more than physical fitness. You handle stress better. You set healthier boundaries. You don't crumble under life's challenges, and you feel more in control and fulfilled. So here's the challenge for you. Just as you wouldn't neglect your body, don't neglect your mind. Start small. Maybe it's just journaling once a day. Maybe it's booking that therapy appointment you've been putting off. Maybe it's replacing 10 minutes of social media scrolling with meditation or just sitting quietly. What will you do to start your mental health fitness routine today? Because here's the truth. Working on your mental health isn't selfish. It's not weak to admit you need to work on mental fitness and that maybe you need a trainer, a therapist, or some help to understand the best way to get into mental shape. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's strength to admit that you need to do something. And just like in the gym, every bit of effort adds up. It's all those little ways. Just like you tear down fat and build up muscle, you will slowly tear down what you no longer need and build up inner strength and resilience to keep moving forward. If this resonated with you today, share it with a friend who you know might need to hear it. And maybe just like having a workout buddy that can help you keep going. Maybe you can listen to this podcast together. Maybe you can do some walk and talks together. You can keep encouraging each other. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for clicking that follow button and sharing. Thank you for helping to reach out to more people to build peace and mental health fitness. Until next time, keep training your mind for resiliency, peace, and calm, little by little and piece by piece. This podcast is based on my own life experiences. I'm not a therapist, a psychologist, psychiatrist, or any other licensed medical professional. Please share this podcast with anyone you think needs to hear this so that we all move forward, little by little and piece by piece. And thank you, Purple Planet, for sharing your music.